Ladies and gentlemen, I bet you're slightly confused at the rank that you're getting in competitive deathmatch. Well, let me explain that in this video. Also, as well, heroes and maps will hit competitive faster, and we've got some awesome Lego news, or Legos? It's Lego to me. It's not Legos. There's no S at the end, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, moving on. All right, guys, let's talk about competitive deathmatch first. So this is a brand new competitive mode, and honestly, it's pretty good. Petra is a very interesting map. It feels a little bit... how can I say? There's a lot of space on Petra for the amount of players that you get in competitive deathmatch, which is 8. It feels like it could sustain 20 players instead of, well, 8. I don't know. It's a really nice map, though. Anyway, moving on from Petra itself, let's talk about deathmatch, because I'm sure you guys have gone out there, finished your placement games, and then looked at the screen, much like I did, and gone, what? Because it placed me in diamond. So this is what I got as my result. And I'm like, okay, this seems like... not great. I actually came top 4 in 8 of my games. I won 2 of my deathmatch placement games, and then I came 5th and I think 6th in 2 of them. So I, for all intents and purposes, I won 8, or I got 8 green ticks on my placement. Now, there are players out there like IDDQD who are one of the best Mccree players in the world. You've got players like Kabaji. These are fantastic players. They win all of, or most of, their placement games, like literally coming top of the table by like massive kill death ratios, like 20 kills, 2 deaths, insane stuff like that. They place into diamond. What is going on? Well, I'm pretty sure, guys, and also XQC placed into plat, which is pretty funny, but XQC isn't a DPS player, is he? And that's kind of what deathmatch is all about, I guess. Anyway, what's going on here is, I think there is no MMR. This is almost as if you have got, it's not looking at your competitive rank from standard competitive, it's not looking at your rank from capture the flag or any other mode, it's not looking at your quick play, it's looking at nothing. It's basically just saying this is a fresh mode, you've got fresh MMR, you've got no matchmaking rank at all. Go out there and do whatever you like. So what's happening is you are playing games, even if you're performing really, really well. It's very rare that people have gone into Masters. I think Shawfor, one of the Overwatch League players for LA Gladiators, one of their DPS players, I think he placed into Master at like 3.6. But this is kind of in line with what happened with early competitive. I think most people went in around rank 50. Now remember, this is before we had the Diamond, Platinum, and all of that stuff. We had like a very Overwatch specific... It was a strange system from competitive season 1, but essentially it was kind of diamond, right? And that's where everybody was placing, and top 500 would be very low masters to begin with, and that's kind of what's happening with deathmatch. Now, deathmatch itself, I think, is quite an interesting game mode. It will definitely get more play out of me personally than capture the flag, and definitely 6v6 limited elimination, which I think wasn't really that good at all. Deathmatch, though, well, I mean, why is it interesting to me? Because I'm a DPS player in a sense. Like, I'm not just a die-hard DPS one trick, but I do like playing Mccree. I quite enjoy Tracer. I don't mind playing heroes like Reaper and, you know, Hanzo. These are heroes that work very, very well in deathmatch. And I've noticed a lot of the players do tend to pick Mccree because Mccree's quite strong in deathmatch. There are heroes you can pick to counter Mccree, like Reaper is a good example. If you're playing on Chateau Guillard, you can just bust out a Reaper, and it's quite hard for a Mccree to get the kill on a Reaper, because you can just go into Wraith form and then drop that and then just kill them. It's like it's quite easy to play around a Mccree. Anyway, it is very DPS focused. That means players, you know, you might be a Mercy main, you might be a tank main, you might be like, I don't know, like a Lucio main, or a Lucio can get some bits and pieces done, but it's going to be much more difficult for you to enjoy that mode, and that's what I want to get at here, is enjoy it. We go back to the age-old thing of rank doesn't matter, and it really doesn't for deathmatch. Like, who cares about your rank? It's just about going in there and just enjoying yourself, because it's just you against 7 other people. There's nobody else to blame. You can't say like, oh, this guy's, you know, oh, he's cheating, he's cheesed me, he's caused me to throw the game. It's just down to you. Now, what I think you guys should do with competitive deathmatch, and this is what I've been doing with it, is just treating it like a fun game mode, not treating it like competitive, which I guess, you know, we should be treating competitive like a fun game mode, really, but that's just not how it works out. But go into deathmatch and just be like, I'm just going to play a hero, and I'm just going to have fun. Yeah, you can use it to play heroes like Mccree, like Soldier, and train up your DPS. It's a great environment for that, because it's way better than any kind of training against bots you can do, just running around in the practice range or anything like that, or even playing competitive, because you get a much higher amount of chances to fire at the enemy, and it's natural enemy opponents. It's not computer. They don't move on set paths. They're players, so they jump all over the place. You get a lot of different heroes to fight against. You know, a Doomfist can be quite good against a Mccree, so when I see Doomfist, it's like I'm getting better at dealing with a Doomfist. Like Tracer against Mccree, it's very hard for both players to get the win there. So it makes you much better. It's a really good mode for practice and training. So if any of you guys out there want to work on your sensitivity settings, want to work on your accuracy, just grind out competitive deathmatch. It doesn't matter about the rank. Nobody cares about the rank. I'd imagine by the end of the season, there will be Grandmaster players. There'll be top 500 players, but there'll be Grandmaster, there'll be Master players. Diamond is still extremely high right now. Platinum is very, very high, and it's kind of like that. So don't worry about your rank because they've reset the MMR. Just get out there and enjoy competitive deathmatch. Also, I want you guys to let me know what you think about the new map in the comments below. I did touch on it a little bit, but I think it's kind of... it feels a little bit open for the number of players we've got on the map. I really like it, though, as a Mccree player, because almost exclusively I've just been playing Mccree in Deathmatch, and it's really nice. There's a lot of long sight lines. It'd be very good for Widowmaker as well, I'm sure, and Soldier and heroes like that. Anyway, let's move on to the next bit of information. Okay, so we're going to get faster maps and faster heroes into competitive. Now, you guys remember that Brigitte took 45 days to make it to competitive from when she was launched. In my opinion, this means we don't care about Brigitte. We're just like, well, okay, new hero hype. We can't play her for a month. Oh, well, that's bad. Okay, whatever. Now, yeah, sure, you could play her in quick play and in arcade and whatever, but you couldn't play her in competitive. Now, there are loads of arguments for and against this. The most sensible, logical argument is, well, you don't just want to drop a new hero into competitive straight away. You need to collect data. You need to try and balance the hero and work out what's going on. However, all that being said, the only really notable changes coming to Brigitte have happened after she hit competitive. So they need the heroes in competitive as fast as possible to collect viable data. They've already said, we can't do this on PTR because not enough people play. Quick play is not the same environment. Arcade is not the same environment. In competitive, players will abuse OP heroes, and when that starts happening, then they can get actually good data and then derive a sort of plan of action from that. How should we nerf this hero? What should we do? Now, Brigitte is a strange one. Like, you could argue, why the hell did they give her such a low cooldown on Shield Bash? Why did it have such a large range? Why did she have the flail attack as well, where she can punt people back, effectively giving her 2 sort of stuns? It's very... an interesting hero design. Like, I'd love to sit down and ask them why they decided to do that. But anyway, that's all besides the point, because Scott Mercer has come in and he said this: Rialto is now in competitive play. With today's May 22nd patch, we've made Rialto available in competitive play instead of waiting until the next competitive season on July the 1st. In future, our plan is to make new heroes and maps available in competitive play 2 weeks after their initial release. So there you go. We will not be waiting 40 days for a new hero. When a new hero is launched, we will get that hero in competitive 2 weeks later. This applies to maps. I am all for this. I think this is a great change, because what I don't want is for us to get, a bit of hype about a new hero and then for it to be completely destroyed because we can't play that hero for over a month. Same goes for the maps. Although typically maps have come out slightly faster, it is good to see Rialto. That's, it's already out. Rialto, I've had the pleasure of playing one game on Rialto, and it was pretty interesting. It seems to be quite good for Farah because, and in fact, the entire season is really good for Farah. She's definitely one of the bigger winners this competitive season. But there isn't really anything which stops Farah flying over the roofs, which is kind of crazy. So if you want to play DPS, and maybe you was playing Hanzo, and maybe your name was Stylosa, and then you thought, actually, I'll just play Farah because I can just fly over the roofs, then do that, ladies and gentlemen. That could be beautiful. Also, as well, it's good to know that they do make changes fast to the game. And Blizzard, all credit to them, they have made pretty fast changes to Overwatch in its history. If there's been like a big issue, they generally fix it. Yes, I know we've had problems with Mercy and some other issues which have gone on arguably way too long, but they do fix it in the end. And it is good to see that they do react fast, and they do react really fast to Overwatch League stuff. So when there's problems with, I remember for Stage 1, when the playoff games for the final, it was all held on the same day. So I remember I was actually there, and the Spitfire guys who won Stage 1, they had to play for like 8 hours or something ridiculous. It was like, what? It was a miracle that they actually won, but that was insane. But they fixed that straight away. They went, look, Stage 2, this isn't happening. It'll be on a separate day. It'll be on a Sunday. So they do fix stuff quick. So we can't really moan about Blizzard not fixing stuff fast, because they do. Sometimes they are a little bit sluggish, but they do ultimately get there in the end. And finally, we've got some news on Lego or Legos or whatever the hell you want to call them. The little bricks that you put together to build stuff. Now, we've all had these. When I was a kid, I used to have all of this stuff. I don't have any now. I mean, I know there's loads of adults that build Lego stuff. I think I went to Legoland once, which was beautiful. They had like Big Ben. They had I think they had the Eiffel Tower as well. Anyway, there's going to be Overwatch Lego sets. So these will most likely be the heroes, like Bastion would make sense, right? Especially if he could transform somehow, that would be ridiculous. What about like a diva? That would make sense as well. Whatever. I guess they would all make sense, right? I just, for some reason in my head, I think it would be extremely difficult to build a hog out of Lego, but I'm sure anything's doable with Lego. So that's cool. But also as well, there is a Hasbro partnership. Now, Hasbro is obviously a massive gaming company, making toys and board games. And Activision Blizzard have entered into an agreement with them for them to exclusively produce Overwatch toys and Overwatch board games. So what this means is we will see, Overwatch board games and toys coming out. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff right now. I mean, I'm going to turn around, so you guys probably not going to be able to hear me as good, but I've got loads of Overwatch stuff behind me on my like my display thing. I've got like loads of Funko Pops, loads of models and all of that stuff. So more Overwatch stuff, that's great, but my wallet is probably going to cry. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And remember, hit the bell if you want to get updated when new videos go live, because YouTube is YouTube and it doesn't like to tell you when videos get uploaded, even though you subscribe to the channel. GG. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.